My name is Lisa. I'm 31 and I live in a city where the skyline glows more from office lights than stars. Every morning I brew a pot of black coffee, tie my hair into a low bun, and sit at my kitchen table, staring out at the quiet street below before heading to work. I work in corporate strategy at a multinational firm. It's not the kind of job that fits neatly into casual conversation. People hear strategy and think PowerPoints and buzzwords. But to me, it's about problem solving, navigating complexity, and building quietly behind the scenes. I love it. My mother would tell you it's not real work, or at least she used to. My mother, Helen Morris, is a name that echoes through the halls of our company. She worked there for nearly 30 years. She climbed every ladder, asked for no help, and earned a reputation for being sharp, composed, and unflinchingly efficient. At home, she was colder, not cruel, just distant. She valued structure, perfection, and reputation above all. I tried to mold myself to that. Straight A's, piano recitals, volunteering, no trouble, no noise. But I wasn't made for silence, and I wasn't straight. I came out to her at 23. I had just graduated and landed an internship, coincidentally at the same company, though in a different division. I thought maybe, just maybe, she'd be proud. We were in the living room. The TV was off. The air was still. "Mom," I said, "I need to tell you something." She nodded, her eyes already guarded. "I'm gay." She was silent for a long time. Then she exhaled through her nose, leaned back, and looked at me like I'd confessed to something. "Shameful. You were the biggest mistake of my life," she said. She didn't yell, she didn't cry. She just stood up, took her coat, and said, "I want you out by morning." That was 8 years ago. We've spoken only once since, at a funeral, a nod across a chapel. Nothing more. I didn't go home. I got a tiny apartment in the city and worked my way up. No shortcuts, no help, no last name advantage. I never told anyone at work she was my mother. I didn't want her legacy. I wanted to build my own. I only found out she was retiring when the company-wide email went out. After 29 years, Helen Morris will retire this July. Join us in celebrating her incredible legacy. The photo they used? The same one that used to hang in our living room, framed in gold, a reminder that excellence had a face. I wasn't invited to the party. Why would I be? But what no one knew, not even her, was that 6 months earlier, the board had begun quietly preparing a successor. Someone to take over her division and lead East Coast strategy operations. That someone was me. I hadn't told a soul, not even my closest friend. I kept my head down, said yes to long hours, delivered on every project. I didn't want it handed to me. I wanted to earn it, and I had. The board planned to announce the new CEO at her retirement party. They asked me to attend. I didn't RSVP, I didn't even open the calendar hold until 2 days before. But one night, sitting on my balcony watching the lights flicker in the apartments across the street, I realized something. This wasn't about revenge. It wasn't even about her. It was about finally walking into the room that had always been locked to me. Not with noise, but with quiet, undeniable presence. And when her boss eventually said, "Please welcome our new CEO," I wouldn't need to say a word. Her face would say it all. I stayed silent. Different last names, different departments, different lives. I was Lisa Carter, efficient, quiet, a little intense maybe, but reliable. I didn't gossip, didn't complain, never missed a deadline, skipped happy hours and team brunches. Not because I didn't want connection, but because I didn't know how to be only half open. If I cracked the door even slightly, everything would come pouring out. The girl who was kicked out at 23, the daughter whose mother said she was a mistake, the employee building her life just floors away from the legacy that tried to erase her. So I stayed silent. And in that silence, I rose. 9 months before the party, after a quarterly review, the CFO asked me to stay behind. Everyone filtered out. He closed the door. "Lisa," he said, "how do you feel about legacy?" I blinked. "I'm not sure I understand." He smiled. "Good answer. People who chase legacy usually ruin it." That was the beginning. Confidential projects, leadership assessments, strategy shifts. Then a sit-down with the board. They wanted someone who could lead, not just manage. Someone sharp but steady. Someone who understood the culture, but wasn't bound by its old politics. When they offered me the title, CEO of East Coast Operations, I didn't flinch. I said yes. Still, I told no one. Then, a month before the party, something strange happened. My mother called me. 7 years, that number still in my phone. When it lit up, I just stared at it, like a ghost. I let it ring. She didn't leave a message. 3 days later, she did. "Heard you're still at the company. Be mindful, not to make things awkward at the event." No, "How are you?" No apology, just a warning, like I was the one with something to hide. I didn't reply, but that night, I lay awake, staring at the ceiling, wondering why it still hurt. I didn't want revenge. I didn't want her approval. I just wanted acknowledgement, not for being successful, for surviving, for growing roots in the very soil she tried to bury me in. The day before the party, Robert called. "We're printing the event cards," he said. "You okay being introduced officially tomorrow?" I took a breath. "I'm ready." "She still doesn't know?" "No." "Do you want her to?" I looked out the window at the city blinking against the sky. "No," I said. "She'll know when everyone else does." There was silence, then a chuckle. "You really are perfect for this role." I smiled, but it didn't reach my eyes, because I never wanted to be perfect. I just wanted to be real, free, and for the first time in years, I finally was. The morning of the party, I woke before sunrise, the sky still navy, the air sharp with early spring chill. I wrapped myself in a blanket, mug of coffee in hand, and sat by the window. Not nervous, just still, like the moment before a quiet storm, the kind that doesn't break windows but reshapes everything. I didn't plan a speech. I didn't rehearse. A smile. I didn't need to. I already had everything. A navy blue suit from my last investor meeting, a leather bag with a notebook inside, and the truth, quiet and steady beneath my skin. The venue, a sleek top-floor event space, skyline views, white tulips, jazz in the background. I arrived 15 minutes early. Not from eagerness, I just needed to see the space empty. By noon, the room buzzed. Executives, department heads, familiar faces. They laughed, toasted, clinked glasses. Then she arrived. Helen Morris. Tailored gray dress, silver necklace, hair perfect, poised as ever, a practiced smile. The room bent around her. Our eyes met once, no recognition, no flicker. Perfect. Then the speeches. Kind words, polite laughter, stories of her precision and excellence. Then her boss, the COO, stepped up. "We've talked about legacy," he said, "and Helen has certainly left one, but today it's about what comes next." He turned toward me. "It's my pleasure to introduce the new CEO of East Coast Operations, Lisa Carter." Silence, then applause. I rose, walked to the stage. From the corner of my eye, I saw her, frozen, not angry. Not shocked, just lost. Her face pale, lips parted, but no words. I turned to the crowd, steady, heart full, not of nerves, but something else. Maybe closure. "Thank you," I said, simple, true, and enough. Tone, the measured, almost meditative. Tone carries so much weight. It's not dramatic, but the emotional undercurrent is palpable. Every sentence lands like a quiet truth. Pacing. The rhythm of short paragraphs and the passage of time, down to the ticking elevator floors, the stillness of a couch at night, a coastal walk, mirrors the emotional evolution beautifully. It gives us space to breathe and reflect along with Lisa. Thematic strength. The idea of silence as closure and leading differently is so powerful, especially when juxtaposed with a legacy of cold leadership. There's no need for revenge arcs or big reveals. The quiet reclaiming of identity is far more compelling. Characterization. Helen Morris isn't painted as a villain. She's just real, complex, flawed, maybe even tragic in her own way, which makes Lisa's quiet defiance even stronger.